Mrs. Goboard.
Well, it says 11 on the on the graphic, but
yeah, coming back very quickly now.
They've got all that. It looks like they've got their timings wrong there. I don't think that's 1 minute and 12 seconds to the two riders we've just seen. That's the first overhead shot we've seen, Brian, and they look a lot closer than 1 minute to me. There we go, you see, anything can happen in prediction. You just never know. 11 kilometres according to the graphic here until Aarberg. And Bonifant and Morkov still out by themselves. Have been aided somewhat by the intervening train barrier. But they're certainly not going as quickly as they were at the back here. Suggest that the pace setting is under control, Brian, that they are within sight. And the sun's finally come out, which is nice. There's Lars Petter Nordhag. Decides to go around the left-hand side with the camera bike. Well, these were three men went to wait, 13 kilometres? I think this is the 10 to get to go.
It's the King of the Mountains now, the fourth category climb. So, they needed a minute and a half from here to the finish, and they've not got that. It's 48 seconds, 47. You can see it ticking down very quickly now. So, it was touch and go for a while. A bit of gamesmanship in the bunch. Teams came up, teams disappeared, but now they're right within their sights. 47 seconds, 10 kilometres to go. It looks as if Bonifant and Markov are going to be disappointed today.
So it will come down to the possibility of a bunch kick. The other thing, of course, that's less than 44 seconds. The other thing is that they now have to calculate how quickly they bring those two guys in, because there will be some of these men who've taken a little bit of a breather at the back who may well take advantage of the two sprinters teams, Liquigas and Sky, doing a lot of the work and try and clip off if they can.
Well, that's the game you play. I thought it just came through there with 35 seconds, but that's the game you play. If you sit back long enough and let all the other teams kill themselves at the front, and Team Sky have used up a few riders. You can just see Ben Swift still in there, and a good enough finish for him, but it's hard not to go. When we look at the sprinters here, there are some classy sprinters. It's not like the Criterium de Dauphine where there weren't that many sprinters, but when you look at the sprinters, you look at the sort of form Peter Sagan's in, it's hard to bet against Peter Sagan in a finish like this.
33 seconds is the gap, and Bonifant is driving towards the top of this fourth category climb. The Ingeberg, and they run straight down into Aarberg again now, and they are surely, they know that the peloton are coming up fast behind them. I'm always in admiration for any rider who's in a breakaway, Brian, because they, in their heart, they know that the likelihood is 99% sure they're going to be caught very, very quickly, but they still, and you were the same when you embraced, you just never give up, because you never know what's going to happen.
No, you never know, and all it needs is go around the corner and there's a crash, and some of the sprinters are coming down, and I've seen this kind of stop-start in races before, but again, 9 kilometres, only 28 seconds. The winner is going to come from the bunch, and luckily it's drying up, but I don't think it's going to dry up quick enough when we come into Aarberg for the finish. It'll still be damp in a few of the corners. Yeah,
I'm a bit concerned about those last two corners, especially now they're all fired up. They're all absolutely topped up with a massive adrenaline charge here coming into the finish.
But that's what happens. Sometimes if that breakaway had a good enough advantage, it's because of that the railway crossing, and got the riders' backs up. A lot more teams have come to the front. The speed has been up in the bunch for the last 40 kilometres, so they've really taken it to this breakaway. A bit to and fro, and riders and teams committing themselves, then disappearing, then committing themselves, but it did look as if with 20 kilometres to go, the breakaway stood a chance, but now they are definitely going to be brought back. 21 seconds, 8 kilometres to go, 5 miles.
Watch out for Cancellara. He's just sitting off the front. And although we've got Frank Schleck in the mountains classification jersey, will want to stay up towards the front for Radio Shack Nissan. You can see Peter Sagan just sitting behind Cancellara. Sagan is in the green helmet of Liquigas, the lime green helmet with a white jersey on for points. And they really are flying down here.
76 kilometres an hour.
Yeah. And that's not on much of a slope either. I mean, there's not much massive slope there, is there, to get huge speed up? They're just really piling it on here. Moser is doing a brilliant job, I've got to say. It's allowed Sky to get their forces back together. Michael Barry and Matt Heyman moving up towards the front. See if we can get a shot of Peter Sagan in a minute from Liquigas, whose his team has been doing some work as well, and they still are with Moreno Moser. 18 seconds, 6 kilometres.
Well, that's the problem when you get to the 5 kilometres, then to the 3 kilometres to go. It's what teammates you've got to keep you near the front. And Team Sky have used up a lot of their riders in this chase, and you know they've done the right thing. They've brought it back, put Ben Swift in with a good chance of winning here today. But is he going to get swamped from a lot of the other teams that have kind of sat back and not done so much work and have more riders and fresher riders towards the front? So for me, Team Sky have done a good job, but it's not finished yet. They've got 2 riders in front of Ben Swift, and for 2 riders to go from 3 kilometres out and keep them near the front, it's going to be very difficult. I know they're good riders. Matt Heyman is good. I think Lufquist is up there as well, helping him out. But there's other teams here. And also Liquigas have been riding hard in the front. So again, it could be pretty messy, this sprint.
I think it's going to be very messy.
Yeah, when we get into these corners, so it's all about position. You want to get your sprinter in the best possible position and have someone in front of them, and that's where the battle's going to lie, with who's got enough strength left and enough teammates round about them. So the sprinters are going to need it.
5 kilometres for the peloton. And they have Bonifant and Markov in their sights. 13 seconds only. Look out also for Pataki. We don't know what sort of form he's in here in the Tour de Suisse, riding for Lampre. Greg Van Avermaet has Adam Blythe as well with him for BMC. They're not up towards the front yet. And again, it's exactly what Brian was saying. There could be a whole bunch of riders from different teams. 4 kilometres for the 2 riders ahead. They're still doing an absolutely fabulous job at trying to keep the peloton at bay. I mean, hats off to them, really. Guarnieri of Astana, Farah and Hausler. There is Hausler.
Tovaric in there for the white of her Française de Jeu.
That looks like Pataki just behind Heinrich Hausler in the pink and blue of Lampre, with 11 seconds to go to catch those 2 men up ahead.
Again, numbers, there's no big team numbers there. There's no big leader. You'd expect that in a less difficult stage where the riders have had to be used up to bring these 2 riders back, you would have a train going at the moment, and you don't. And you know, Pataki sitting in 4th place there for Lampre in the pink with the fluorescent yellow bike. He's only got 1 rider in front of him.
Yep. Having said that, so's Heinrich Hausler only got 1 rider in front of him. 10 seconds still. They're making it difficult for them, these 2 men. Bonifant looks over his shoulder. He's not going to sit up here. No, keep going. Go on. You've got to keep going. It's Garman and Lampre, 1 man apiece. So the 2 sprinters, Heinrich Hausler, Alessandro Pataki, Matti Breschel is in here. Tovaric is in here. Farrar is coming up with Sagan on his wheel. Buchmann's on the far side of the shot, just boxed in a little bit at the moment towards the right hand side.
What's this corner?
It looks a bit glass-like down there. It's the 2 last corners I'm worried about at the moment. I mean, these guys, they can just take enough speed off to get round.
Just seeing all these riders keeping away from the yellow and white lines. You don't want to be banking it over on the lines.
If it's all possible, avoid. Anybody who rides a motorcycle will know that. 8 seconds only, 2 kilometres to go. Oh, Bonifon is thinking, I'm going to keep going for it. They have made it super entertaining, and the advantage is with them in many respects to just keep this pace going, because some of the roads are very wet and they're a little bit narrow, and the peloton wants to get down towards those last two corners as best they can. They've made it vastly entertaining. I think they will have despite being completely knackered, they will have a smile on their face at the end of the day. Okay, they didn't get the win, but when they look back on it, they'll talk about it. They're in the 53.11. They're completely spun out. Morkov gets to the front again. Bonifon gets in behind him. Morkov seems to have the better legs at the moment than Bonifon. And there they are, right behind.
Yes, Matt Heyman with Ben Swift in the wheel, and it's one rider and 7 seconds down Hotovaric, third place Peter Sagan, Pataki, and then you get one of the riders from Astana there, if it's Garnieri.
Underneath the 1 kilometre to go banner, it's just a handful of seconds literally between Guillaume Bonifon and Michael Morkov and the sprinters teams, who are now desperately jostling for place around the front. Matt Heyman was doing all the work for Swift. They seem to have disappeared off the front here as Orica Greenedge take it up. It's a little bit messy here on the left hand side, people being squeezed. Bookman's getting squeezed for Varkon Soleil backwards rather than forward. Sagan, look out for him in the white jersey with the lime green shorts there, following Greg Van Avermaet through the corner. And Heinrich Hausler has disappeared away from the front, as has Alessandro Pataki. Orica Greenedge still working hard. Albacini doing the work on the front here. Sagan is lining up at about fourth back behind Greg Van Avermaet. Swift is in there. Guarnieri for Astana. Swift comes around the outside, tries to get through. This is the last two corners. Hausler, Farrar is a little bit canted over. It's the drive for the line. Sagan has Swift in his wheel here. It looks like Cookie. Baden Cook is pushing on here, going for the line, and with 15, Sagan is going to come around the outside of him. Swift is outgunned. Sagan takes another win. Baden Cook on the far right hand side, and it's all very scrappy indeed. But Peter Sagan takes another win. Good finish by Rui Costa. Terrific riding by Orica Greenedge to get their man Baden Cook up there as well. Cookie looking in better form than I've seen him for a while.
Oh, that was a fantastic lead out. As I said, there's not that many riders left for a lot of these teams, and it was a perfect lead out there for Greenedge, and he had to take it on from the front. He just didn't have enough. He took it up with 300 metres to go, and this man here was on his wheel, and you never bet against him, and managed to come round him within the last 100 metres or even less.
Absolutely.
But you had to take it from the front. You never know what's going to happen behind him, and all it needed was for a rider to slide out. So it was a very good effort by Orica Greenedge there in Baden Cook. Yep. Very experienced rider. He knew where he had to be, took it on from the front. He just didn't have the legs to finish it off.
Well, he'd been doing it for quite a while, one has to say. Looks across to Peter Sagan. Made it hard actually, Cook, and Sagan didn't know he had that till right to the end. Ben Swift looking a little bit dischuffed. Another win by Sagan, but you have to say Swift looked as though he was a little bit outgunned there.
That's what we're saying. He had Matt Heyman, and then he had to find his own wheel, and really you had to take that on from the front. With so many corners in that last 500 metres, you had to take it on from the front. And look at
it's a good position here.
Yeah, Sagan had 3 bike lengths to come up, and again, this is the last corner. Whoa. You can see Ben Swift just kick back a bit, and Peter Sagan was just saying, look, I'm going to go around this corner as fast as I can to win the stage, or I might not come out of it. So that he took that chance, and he won the stage.
Worth seeing that shot again if they show it to us from the overhead shot, because Sagan, to be fair, was already accelerating away from Ben Swift before he got into that corner. He was already pulling away. Terrific result by this young man. How far can he go? This is the question. Hard day in the saddle for a lot of these riders. And a lot of them looking as though they were looking forward to their shower and massage.